Hi friends, thanks so much for joining me today in my Tuesday tutorial. So in today's video, I'm going to be using this beautiful Everyday Happiness Designer Series paper. It comes in 12 by 12. You get 12 sheets, 4 of 3 designs, for each of 3 designs. So I'm showing you the A side. We've got some beautiful florals and leaves. Then we got some plaid or gingham. And either these look like dots or they could be raindrops. I'm going to say raindrops because you may, actually you do kind of see it, right? There's like little clouds in there is what that looks like. So isn't that pretty? I think that's so cool. So, and then we have our B side. Very pretty. A lot of watercoloring. These are in Wild Wheat, Lost Lagoon, Pretty Peacock, and I think either gray granite or, what's that other gray? Here, you know, let's look at the back of the chipboard and see what it says. So we have gray granite, Lost Lagoon, Mossy Meadow, Pecan Pie, Pretty Peacock, Very Vanilla, and Wild Wheat. So those are the colors that are in the paper. And then the B side is here, really pretty. And then we have the B side here, which is really cool. Isn't that pretty? So we're going to be using these today to make a fun fold card. I haven't done those in a while, and I know you guys just love it when I do the fun folds. And this one I am calling, what am I calling this? Oops, sorry, I just moved my phone. That back, it's kind of crooked now. Okay, I won't play with it. A barn door card, because it kind of opens like a barn door, right? So this is my sample that I do, and I've started doing this probably since last year's catalog. Remember when I was doing the sketches? So I actually continue to do that, and sometimes I'll show you, sometimes I won't. But what I do is I'll write down all my measurements on the inside and other information. This particular one I did with my gals on mystery stamping, so really fun. All right, so let's see. I am featuring the Turtley Awesome Stamps and Die Set. This is so cute, and I really enjoy playing with it. Actually, we got this at On Stage. This was my after hours stamp set that I chose to play with, and I had a lot of fun making the card there. So I wanted to do another one, and I'm going to do it on this card. So I've got, you know, let's start by doing this the simple way. Okay, so I'm going to start putting my pieces inside. So we're going to do and I'm using Lost Lagoon as my card base. And I will show you in just a second how to cut that piece off so that you could save some cardstock rather than cutting another piece. Of course, you can totally cut another piece, but I will show you in just a second how to do that. It's so simple. Okay, so let's set that aside for a minute and bring my trimmer into the camera. Okay, we're good. So basically you start with a 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. And what you want to do is put this in your trimmer and go to the, let's see, what do you cut off? So it's 3 inches that you're cutting off the top, right? So you want to put your blade, what I like to do is I put my blade down to 4 1/4, or you can even measure it with the, I went a little too far, with the score line. And you'll see, let me bring the camera down. Right here on both sides, there's lines, and those line up to where the blade is. Go back out again. So that lines up to where the blade is. So you want to cut down 4 1/4, 3 inches, and then flip it around, and then do the same. Go to 4 1/4, then bring this down to the 3-inch mark. Oopsies, I'm cutting more off, and cut off right on the score line. Okay, so that's it for that. Okay, we can put this away because I'm done with it, because I have everything else already prepped. So I'm going to add this to the front part, and I like to do both sides So I'm doing the flowers on the inside, and then the outside we'll do the stripes with the vines. I just think that looks really cool. And what I'm trying to do is line it up so that both sides are lined up here and here, and then, you know, about 1/8 of an inch top and bottom. Okay, so that's that. We're going to put that aside for a minute. And actually, I think we can glue this together. I'm going to glue my white piece. No, I'm not going to glue that down yet. Am I? Am I not? No, let's not do that yet. I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. Because I'm thinking I'm going to stamp Hooray, but what I want to do is I want to stamp it onto piece of scrap, right? And then I'm going to cut around it. So I think that's what I'm going to do. So we'll hold off on this for just a minute. I'm going to bring in my little turtle, and I'm going to use my, and I've already stamped them with Memento. Now, typically when you're using your, what are these called? Pencils, your watercolor pencils, you want to use StazOn ink. Memento is typically used for your Stampin' blends, your alcohol blends. I personally like to use my Memento for my Stampin' Write markers, and I've never had a problem. And what I do is I stamp my image and let it set for, I don't know, 5-10 minutes while I'm prepping stuff. And then it's all good and dry. I know that it's dry and it's not going to run. All right, so let's see how we're going to do this. So I'm using Bermuda Bay, and I'm not sure if I'm going to use the Bermuda Bay, Coastal Cabana, and then Crushed Curry. So I think I'm going to do his face in Crushed Curry. And I'm just adding some color all over, and I'm being very light about how I'm adding color. And I'm going to come down and do his arms. I'm going to stay away from that little white area there. And I'm also going to stay away from his little, I don't know, what do you call them, paws? Not really paws on a turtle. So that I can use a different color on that. And I'm going to color his spots a different color. Okay, now we're just going to continue to color. Again, I'm just using a very light touch, just adding a little color to his stripes. And I actually have an apron already die cut from the DSP, and I'm going to put it over him. I'm making this card for my sister. Hopefully she's not going to watch this video. Sometimes she does. For her birthday. And I'm kind of making her like a little chef. So I die cut a chef's hat also, because she's been getting into cooking a lot more. So I thought this was kind of cute for her. And for somebody who's never cooked in all her life, she's 2 years older than me. She's actually quite good, I must say. So for Easter, she made us lasagna, and oh my goodness, was it delicious. So that's what we're going to do. Okay, now I'm going to use my Coastal Cabana. I'm going to add color to his back, or the shell, I guess, right? Just going to add some color in there. And then I'm going to come back with the Bermuda Bay. Now, Bermuda Bay is a retired color, which means Stampin' Up! No longer carries it. But I think there might be a new assortment for these watercolor pencils, but I still continue to use my original ones. So, and then I'm going to bring in the Bermuda Bay that I'm talking about, which is retired. It's no longer available, but you might have it already. And this just adds a little, it's a little deeper of the blue to the Coastal Cabana. So we're just going to add that there on all those little dots. Then I'm going to do his little elbow and his feet. Oh, excuse me, her feet, since this is for my sister, so it's a girl. Yeah, we'll do that. Now, you could also use the blender pen just to soften the colors, which I'm going to do on the Crushed Curry, but I'm not going to do it onto the, let me just get a piece of scrap paper. I'm not going to do it on the Coastal Cabana or the Bermuda Bay. So we're just going to blend those colors in. Just blending. See how nicely that turns out? Just makes it a little, so that there's no harsh lines. Now on the Coastal Cabana Bermuda Bay, you really can't see the lines because it's such a small area. But on this larger area, you're able to see the lines. And that's one of the reasons why you shouldn't use the Memento ink, is because if you're using the blender pens, it could bleed. But you'll see it's not bleeding. And that's because I allowed the Memento to dry before I started adding color to my image. And you'll see me do that, quite a bit. I see I pulled in some of the blue from the side there. So I want to be very careful to go around the kneecaps there. And we'll do this one there. Now I probably still have some crushed curry on here, so I'm going to add some. No, I don't see it. All right, so I'm just going to add some crushed curry to the candles. And again, I am not going to use the blender pen on that because it's just such a small area. And then we'll make our dish also in that color. Do the cake in Coastal Cabana. Just going to kind of do little circles instead of doing lines. And then that way I won't have to do the blender pen. So there. Isn't that cute? Nikki's so cute. All right, and let me close this up. And let us die cut this. I should be able to die cut this all at once. We'll try. I think I can do my mini. Yes, it does fit on there. And let me get my dies out. So I'm going to get the turtle. That's this one here. And you'll see in a second, but these little cut lines here actually cut the arm out so that you can lift it and put things underneath his arm, her arm. And what else do I need? The cake. Okay, so we're going to put that here. And I think I'm going to get some, where's my washi tape? My washi tape to hold it down. And as I mentioned, I think I should be able to get both in there, but I'm going to check it in just a minute. Just want to line this up correctly. Up there. Okay. And let's see if the turtle doesn't hit up against the cake. It doesn't, so I can do both. And I could have used my magnetic plate, but I forgot. So we're just going to go with the regular plates. The magnetic plate I got from scrapbook.com. This works just as well. So we're going to run that through. Okay, peel that off. Goes right there. Came out really good. Happy. Let's see how the cake turned out. That one there. Yeah, not too bad. Got a little too much on here, but I might just cut that off with my snips. Okay, so put this aside. We can take this away. I'm going to put this aside. All right, so I'm leaving it alone because I know me, if I start to mess around with it, it will probably, too big? I think that's too big. Probably mess it up, so we're just going to leave it alone. But this is what I was telling you. I could actually put something underneath the arm, which actually I am going to do. I did mention that I cut the apron and a little chef's hat out of the designer paper. So we're going to put that underneath the arm on the turtle. It's going to go like this. Kind of like so. Okay, so let's see. I want to put some liquid glue. Get my craft mat. It's very important. And I could have used either side, but I like the striped side, so. Oh my goodness, I'm having such difficulty picking up these things. There we go. All right, where's the glue? I'm going to probably just add a little glue just up to there. I don't want to put too much. Just tuck that right underneath like so. And the liquid glue allows me to move it around a little, so get it right in place. It's good right there. And you know what? I think I'm just going to snip off this string here. I can get underneath it. Huh. Thought it was going to come off easily. There we go. Okay. And then we will add the hat. Let me just see where it fits on her. Kind of like so. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of glue to the top of her head. Just right there. And then I'm going to add the hat. Like so. Cute. See, these turtles aren't so bad. They're kind of cute. All right, let's start seeing what this is going to look like. You know, that hat looks really silly up on her head, but we're going to keep it there. And then we'll put the cake right here. Okay. And I want to add some pretend grass. I don't want her just floating there. So let's see. I'm looking for my old olive. Oh, you know, let's use garden green instead. Okay, so I'm just going to add a little bit of grass over here. Just so she's not floating in air. And you know, turtles live outside. They don't live in the house, right? So she's probably just making her little cake outdoors. And it's all pretend, right? Okay. No, we're not going to soften it up. So that's that. All right, let's put her on dimensionals. Put her right over here. So, okay. Like the hat keeps going way further down than I want it. And then we'll add the cake. About here. Okay. All right, now we're going to add this piece here. Let's use our Lost Lagoon ink. My Pierce mat. No, it's going to fit right here. It doesn't look like it's going to fit. I was trying to save some cardstock, but I don't think it's going to fit. Oh, let me fit over here. Yeah, that fits. Okay. That works. And while I have that out, let me stamp the inside. So this is going to go here. So I want to make sure that it doesn't show my sentiment, my inside sentiment doesn't show from the outside. So I'm going to kind of come down a little, probably about here. So, okay, and let's close this up, and let's fussy cut this out. Cut up some of this excess so it doesn't get in my way. Okay, so I'm just gonna kind of go in and out. So you're kind of just moving the paper and not the scissor is what the key is to fussy cutting. So, and somebody told me that the more you do it, the better you get at it. So I'm getting out of my comfort zone and I'm going for it. And if I don't like the way it comes out, I can always restamp it onto the actual cardstock and not worry about it. Of course, if you have trimmers, this is not the easiest thing to do. So, but hey, look it, I'm doing it right. I'm doing it. So you'll have to let me know in the comments what you think about this turtley awesome stamp set. And there's also coordinating DSP, which I showed you in my pre-order unveiling recently. And my actual intention was to use that for this, and I kind of cut this paper out, this DSP instead, and I actually like the way it looks, so I'm happy I did. I'll use that for something else though. I do need to make a card for my swap, so I'll use that. Yeah, see, now I went a little bit too close to the edge, which I didn't want to do. All right, obviously I can't talk and cut at the same time. We all know that, right? All right, where is my, oh, it's right in front of me. Okay, so we're gonna put a nice long strip back here. Okay. Where'd it go? Oh, and we're going to put that right about here, like so. Cute. And this is going to be added to here. So please be sure to like my video if you enjoy watching what I've been showing and you enjoy my channel. This way YouTube knows to show you and other people also who may be interested in this sort of content. I'm going to add a little more. Where'd my garden green go? Right here. More grass down here. If you've been enjoying it, so that YouTube can show it to others, and make sure you turn on your notifications. There's that little bell. So this way you are notified each time I upload a new video. Okay, that should be good. And make sure you like my video and leave a comment. Comments always help as well. All right, so we're going to add this right to the center. So let's do that right now. Put that right here. So that's just going to be centered. Just make sure. Okay, so you just want to add glue to the bottom part of this piece here. Otherwise, you're going to glue your card shut. So I'm just adding a little bit of glue here to the lower part. Hopefully I didn't go too high. No, okay, good. All right, so let's add some pretty bling to this. All right, So I have my brushed brass butterflies, and we're going to add a butterfly right by the cake. My sister loves butterflies, so I think this is just perfectly appropriate for her. Okay, and then I'm going to use these faux glass dots, which are on the last chance list. So if you haven't gotten a chance to look at that yet, take a look at it. There's a lot of nice things on it. And if there's something that you were eyeing, okay, where'd that go? I don't know where it went. It popped off someplace, but I'm not sure where it landed. So let's just grab another one. Put it right about here, maybe. So if there's anything on there that you might want, you should probably get it sooner rather than later, because once those items are sold out, they're not going to be replenished. And there's a lot of things on sale also, I think up to like 50% off maybe. So we got there 1, 2, 3, 4. So we want to add one more. I'll add one to the bottom here on the grass. I thought I heard it falling on the floor, but I'll look for it later. So there you go. There's a card. My, what do we call it? Barn door card. So cute, isn't it? I love this little guy. We have inside, and I could stamp a little birthday cake there, which I will do later probably, since I don't have the Stampin here. So let me show you the other cards that I had made. I have a lot of birthdays between April and May. So I have this one here for my husband. I made it kind of like he's a farmer. So I did the flowers on this. And then this piece here is actually from an ephemera pack. And then we have it inside. I did the flower on the inside. So really cute. And of course, I dressed up the envelope. Love that. And this one I made for my mom because it's her birthday coming up in May. So I figured while I was at it, I'll make her one too. And she loves to garden. So that's why I made her this cute one. And I have the same on the inside, just different colors. So friends, let me know what you thought about these cards. Please be sure to leave me a comment. And if you don't want to say anything, just say hi. Let me know that you're watching. I love to read comments, and I do respond to all of them. And be sure to give me a like. As I mentioned, that does help grow my channel, and it does help other people find my channel and that may be interested in card making. So friends, thanks again for watching, for liking, subscribing, and sharing with your friends. I really appreciate you, and I appreciate your business if you're one of my customers. Until my next video, have a great day. Bye-bye.